Hello everyone, it's Lottie from Cancer and Lifestyle. So today is a cloudy day. Oh my gosh, we have been dodging snow like ever since fall came, like winter, and everybody's getting tons of snow, and it's just been dodging us. And I know that sooner or later it's going to come down. So I don't know. Every day they're saying there's snow coming. So far we just had some rain and sleet. But anyway, I also am still getting Christmas cards, you guys, and I wanted to thank. This is Sylvia from Tabitha's Treasures. Thank you so much, Sylvia, for thinking of me. And this one, I'm so embarrassed because I've received this one like Thanksgiving and I never showed it. This is Janet Hay with her husband. What a lovely couple, what a lovely woman. Thank you so much. And this one is from a subscriber, Deborah. It's such a pretty card. I wish you could see the glitter in it. It just shimmers. It's so pretty. Thank you so much, Deborah. So today's cast-ons is day 7. And before I go any further, I just want to make sure that I give acknowledgement to Angela from YarnNYarns. She is the creator of the 12 cast-ons, and I think last year she invited us to kind of, join in on the cast-ons. And this year she's having a, make-along with this 12 cast-ons. So in my description is her link to her channel, especially the one explaining you can how to join the 12 cast-ons, why she does them every year. And I really, if you can find the time to go and show her some love and support, because she is the creator of this, and I've had so much fun. I do this now, this is my 2nd year, and I love it so much. And I just want to make sure that the credit is given to her for creating this, because I am just a innocent bystander. But I am in love with the 12 cast-ons. She got me hooked. And also in the description are tons of links, it seems, because there's also our gifts of love from Nana's Crochet Ideas, that we have the fundraiser going for Sharon's wheelchair. So please go down below. The raffle is still going on. The fundraiser is still going on. There's a lot of gifts that are going to be raffled off. The link is down below also on how to get to her channel and enter the raffle if you are interested. There's just, so a lot of links down there. Have a moment, go down and check them out. And of course, our today 12 cast-on is actually in thanks to one of the comments that had been left a while ago. I think it was Liliana that asked me if I ever made a mile a minute blanket. Well, you know what? From the time she said that to me, and of course I never did, from that moment on, I could not stop thinking about the mile a minute. And I thought, and I could even picture in my head of what colors I would use and all of that. So today's day 7 is a mile a minute blanket that I'm actually going to be for me, for my bed here. So what is a mile a minute blanket? Well, basically, if you think of like a granny square or a granny circle, where you make them separately and then you bind them together into a blanket. A mile a minute is the same concept, but it's in long strips that you bind together. So I'm going to show you one of my strips. It kind of looks like this. Now, from what I gathered, people basically use 3 colors. And they use any color they want that they're interested in. And it's got this really nice, and I'm hiding something behind here because I want to show. And it's got this little nice pointy edge to it, where it kind of looks like you don't even have to worry about doing a border. And you can make them as long as you want. Here's mine. I actually used the tutorial from the Nervous Knitter, which her link will be in the description, and where she does the mile a minute. And she does a method where you bind as you go. So that's what I'm doing. And I actually am in love with this method because it's kind of seamless. You don't really see it. So let's get back to what I was saying. So it comes with 3 colors. And first you make the one, then you do on the second one around. And this white one is usually the one that they use for binding. Now you can make them any 3 colors you want. You can do 2 colors, but it's basically like 3 separate, I want to say rows. But with her, what she is doing, she's binding them together as she goes. Well, I decided, in my head, as of my vision, I saw a pastel blanket. And I didn't see 3 colors that I was going to use, and I decided I'm going to do 4. Now, the reason behind why I'm going to do 4, because you're thinking, hey, it's only 3 that you're going to be using. But what I want to do is, I don't want to make all the strips the same. Okay? My idea was, let's say, and I wrote them down in order what, I placed in order to my colors. So let me show you the colors first before I go on. So the colors I chose, and excuse me, are these. And I have them this way so I know what color is next, a combination, right? So I chose white, yellow, blue, and apricot. Now the 3 large ones are all loops and threads yarn, and this is just any standard white. I don't think I even had a tag on it. But my idea was, I have the 4, and I'm just going to alternate them. So like number 1 was the blue, the second one, the second row I used on the strip was apricot, then I had the white. And since you bind them as you go, so the next strip would be the next color. I would start with yellow, and then I'm going back to the top with the blue, the apricot, right? And I bind it, and look how she binded them. Can you even tell where the seam is? I love this. So the next strip I started with white, and then the next color after that it's yellow, and then we're going back to blue. So my whole point of doing it this way, I wanted to see the different color combinations that these strips would produce. And then I imagined that eventually we would go back to this color combination, and then it would kind of like create this color scheme where it would kind of, because it does look like it's absolutely seamless, doesn't it? Like I've just continued on. So that was my whole idea. Instead of sticking to the same, 3 colors over and over again, I wanted to see the color combinations that it would create. Now, I have to say that I am in love with this mile a minute blanket, because unlike the squares or the circles of the grannies, they're smaller, and when you bind them together, whether you do it seamlessly or as you go or anyway, there's so many of them, right? There's just so many of them, although a lot of people end up sewing them. But with this one, and I'm going to show you because here is, it's 2 strips already. This is 2 strips, and look how much I have just with 2 strips. Now, I decided, this is going to be for my bed, so I've decided to put in 67 rows from the strip to be 67. And this is a 67 for me. The point, and I'm mentioning that because if you have to make sure that each of these strips is exactly the same amount of rows, so you are counting. But you only have to count the very first one, and then you crochet around. And so I'm liking it because I did 2 strips, and look at how much I got already. I mean, I believe this would go actually pretty well. Unlike the, like I said, unlike the squares, there's a lot to sew. Another thing I really am liking about, look, is that, like, you see I have some ends, but they've actually been worked in, because she works them into her crocheting. So these are short now, but they've been worked in. There's a long strip that's been worked in, so when I wash it, I'll just snip off the smaller pieces that are sticking out, and it's binded. That's one thing I like. And look at the the points, this is going to be, you won't need to do a border because that's my border. Now you can still do something fancier, but look, you don't need to worry about it. It has a really nice edging, so I like it. Really, really, really like it. Now, another thing you need to, I'm going to point out when you do the Mile a Minute, is that when you do bind them together, you have to make sure that your design, like this one, they call it these butterfly wings, that they're both going in the same direction. Because if you're not careful, and I'm going to give you an example. Let's see, I'm going up. Let me go down. If you're not careful, you know, you can combine them and this one is going down and this butterfly is going up and it doesn't really look right. So you got to be kind of careful with that you line them up correctly. But otherwise, I am really loving this, you guys. And I've never really had like a pastel kind of a blanket, so this is a first for me. I am really more of a darker tone woman. So I'm going to link her down below, the Nervous Knitter. She had a really nice tutorial. What I also liked about her tutorial, that she would zoom in really close to certain parts of the blanket when she's doing this, so to show you how it goes. So I like that too. So anyway, this is my day 7. I'm really, really happy. Oh yeah, one more thing. You know, I am not a person, I do not wind my yarn into balls before I work, you know, when I start a project. But I think I'm going to have to start doing this lately, because look what happens. Like, these are the the 1 pounder things. And look what happens. I always end up with this barf, especially when it's a huge, you know, skein of yarn. And I think I'm going to have to start like winding them into balls first, because everyone claims that it helps prevent the barf from happening. So I want to ask you, do you guys wind your balls before you begin your project, or do you just, you know, work out of that skein? Because I've never, you know, done it before. I always thought that might be like a lot of extra time that I'm wasting, you know, doing that. And I don't have a ball winder, so I don't know. But I think I'm, you know, like, look at this mess. I'm spending a lot of time, you know, getting it right, you know, pulling out the tangles. So maybe it's worth the time to wind up the ball. What do you guys do? I would love to know. Anyway, this is day 7. We are almost at the finish. Have a good day.